Well, hello. We're testing out live on the Revolution on New Year's Eve. That's kind of cute and fun. Honestly, full transparency, I don't know what I'm going to say tonight. Um, I told myself and I told people over on Instagram that I was going to go live today. And despite the fact that I'm sick, and part of me is like, bitch, you should just go to bed. Like, you can go live another day. I have this thing where, and you can attribute it to my wounding, right? I start things, but I don't always finish them. And like, there have been moments this past year where I've said that I was going to go live or I said that I was going to do something and then I didn't end up doing it for whatever reason. Um, Fear comes into play, obviously. My own limitations come into play. There were actually like external things that came into play as well, but there was always a reason, right? And tonight, or today rather, is kind of a prime example of how I could have abandoned myself by telling people last minute that I was going to go live, right? Almost as if doing so, saying that I'm going to go live last minute is like a way to mentally prepare myself for the chance that nobody shows up, right? That's interesting, honestly, because part of me is like, maybe I don't want anybody to show up because, like, if I look at that and I see that there's only one person watching and that person is me, one, I'm a wonderful audience member. Like, I ask questions, I engage, I'm all in. I'm a self-projected project. I mean, the self-projected doesn't really matter there, but I'm a projector, right? Like, when you've got my focus, you've got my focus. By the way, you're gonna see a lot of cats. I could make it sound kind of dirty and be like, you're gonna see a lot of pussy. Side note, Zora, where'd you go? Girl, you know you're not supposed to be down that way. Mm-hmm. So, fun fact, I live in a zoo. Not really. It's not a zoo. Although I do, my pet sitter, my regular pet sitter, whenever I need her, I typically send her a text. I'm like, so, I'm looking to be out of town this time. Are you available to take care of the zoo for me while I'm away? Part of me's like, girl, don't tell them how many animals you have. They're gonna think you're a crazy childless cat lady. But then the other side of me is like, sweetheart, they already know. You already know. I am a single, crazy, childless cat lady. I have 13 cats in my house right now, and I have 2 dogs. Yeah, that happened. Didn't think I was going to talk about that tonight, but apparently that's coming up a bit. Honestly, let's go into a bit of why it's taken me so long to go live here. One, I didn't realize that you could go live on Substack. Pause. I need to take a sip of tea. Don't worry, I won't spill any. I have known for a while that I need to start going live. I have had old mentors tell me, Emily, you should go live. And whenever someone tells me that I should do something, there's a part of me that's like, why? Because you're telling me? Like, the brat in me wants to fight that, wants to push up against, I want to say, the edge, right? Test things out. Who knows? Also, side note, I'm sick, which is another reason why I almost didn't go live today because I'm like, girl, why are you telling people you're going to go live when you're sick? and should probably just be sleeping right now. Like, it's what, 8 o'clock p.m. on New Year's Eve? I'm going to bed soon. Like, as soon as I sign off, this bitch is hitting the sheets. Part of me's like, the spreadsheets? Because also, I was talking to my mom earlier today. She was asking me how I was feeling because sick. Um, and my response was blah. And what sucks about it is like I have very little energy right now, but I have all of the inspiration. Like the ideas are bouncing around like crazy right now. Um, so I did do some work, and part of me wants to sit down at the computer after this and kind of like work on things again now that I've got something playing in my mind. That's a different story. Back to the point, Emily, right? Reasons why it's taken me so long to go live. There's a lot of them, right? I could make excuses very easily. Instagram. When I finally moved through the things that were blocking me from feeling safe enough to go live earlier this year, oh my god, I was so pissed. I was I had hyped myself up one day. I'm like, you're going to go live, Emily. You're going to do it. You're not going to worry about if you say something the wrong way or you accidentally call somebody out when you don't intend to yet. That's a whole different thing, right? Like I felt safe enough in myself, in my own body, in my ability to regulate my own nervous system and to support myself if my words, my stories had any negative repercussions, which they very well may, right? Like my stories, some of them are fictionalized, right? Or they will be in the future. But most of what I write about, I write from either personal experience or inspiration. Inspiration, is that how I want to say it? Yeah, they're inspired by other people's stories, right? Call me a ghostwriter. Hmm, that's an interesting story I could go down. Again, bringing it back. Lives are probably going to get more structured down the road, or at least like when I get on and lead when I lead classes and trainings, they are more structured, but this is just like one in the moment. This is my storytelling. 56 comes to mind in the gene keys and human design. Gate gene key 56 is my conscious Mercury, which equates to the sphere of relating in the gene keys. One of the ways that people refer to it often is like the gate of the storyteller or the wandering storyteller. And like, hi, hello, it's me. I'm going to start at one point. We're going to meander all the way around. And eventually we might get back to like this point, or we might be like a little bit off center. Like, who knows? It's going to be an adventure. Buckle up. It's going to be fun. And honestly, today's is just going to be more crazy than normal because, again, one of the many reasons why it's taken me so long to jump off the edge, spread my wings, and trust my ability to fly, right? Is I have so many fucking stories. I don't know where to start. Like, literally, these are just some of my books. And they're not books like to read. These are like my notebooks with ideas and like little mini stories and all the things. I have a lot to say. A lot to say. Um, so it's almost like one, I don't know where to start. I've started some and then I kind of lose steam a bit and then eventually I pick things up and like honestly it's very reflective of my chart with human design and the gene keys. I'm gonna have a post I don't know if it'll be pinned, but I'll refer back to it often enough in the future where it'll have like my chart so that one, I can reference it like real quick, but so can you. Um, and then eventually when like I host actual office hours, workshops, whatever, like there will be a screen with that. I want to get a whiteboard. I have a glass one, but I don't know how to hang it up. It's big. That's a different story. Um, but yeah, I don't know where to start. And it's like this past year has been interesting. Let's bring it back to the fact that it's New Year's Eve, right? One, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Like, okay, I believe in them. They exist. People do them, right? But like for me personally, they don't work. Um, you could attribute that to a great many things, right? Projector. I don't have a defined ego. I don't have the sheer willpower to maintain energy to do something. I like to have more of like a general thing that I'm continuously working towards, and it tends to shift and evolve. Really interesting. But anyway, when I entered into 2025, I had all these grand ideas about the things that I was going to accomplish within a specific time frame, and guess what? Very few of them happened. It can be really disappointing, right? And like disappointment is not my not self. That's reflectors. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. Sorry, I can also hear fireworks in the distance, so like I might get distracted. It happens. Part of me is like, I'm like a dog, squirrel. Um, but no, honestly, I'm probably more like a cat, which tracks, right? Anyway, I had planned on going live more often, but there were hangups with Instagram, like changing their thing where like if you had less than 1,000 followers, you couldn't go live anymore. Um, I technically still can on the sanctuary, but the sanctuary is different than me, and it didn't quite feel right to go live there. And then by the time I realized that I could go live on this on Substack, I tried to and it blocked me for some reason. And I finally got access to it this past month. But it's taken me until today to hit record. Mo, don't drink, don't do it. No, sir. This is Mo. Look at him. He's like, Mom, what are you doing to me? He's so cute. Again, you're gonna see cats and dogs. I want a snake one day, but okay. So I'm a vegetarian. Although I'll eat eggs. Could I get a snake that eats eggs? Ooh. Cause see, my hang up with getting a snake is like I don't want to feed it mice or crickets or anything. Like, no. Please no, I can't. Like if there was such a thing as a vegetarian snake where I could feed it tofu or like lettuce, girl, or guys or non-binaries, right? Like I would totally have a snake. But until that point, or until like there's some other alternative, we'll see. Um, but anyway, okay, 2025. So many stories. I'll organize this more probably in a later live. Honestly, this is kind of more just like a get it out of the way. Like go live and then leave it in 2025. Fun fact, that rhymed. And then 2026, pick up your sticks. Ooh boy, this is gonna get fun. Side note, I'm sitting in my living room right now. There's a keyboard and a drum pad and sticks nearby. I'm not playing tonight. Nah. But part of me is like, that could be fun. What could be really fun is if eventually I've got like a group over here. Ooh, lots of ideas. Anyway, where was I going with that? I'm tired. um, well, side note, right? There's a part of me where like one of the reasons again why I haven't gone live. You know what? This might just be like a whole ass list of why I have not gone live until now. Because honestly, part of me knows that like me going live is going to be the thing that like starts shifting things more, right? Because I recognize that my public persona can be a bit polarizing. I could look at it from a few different ways, right? Like one, I'm looking at from my MC placement, Scorpio. I play with that and I have fun with it. Um, 1 and 39 and 14 come to mind. I have those three Scorpio placements in my chart. So Pluto, Lilith, MC. I think that's it. Yeah. Um, I have 6 Capricorn placements, 5 or 6 Capricorn, and then 5 Cancer. So it's like split. Oh my God. My energy is interesting. Gemini is my Venus. That's fun. I don't know. I'm very dynamic, right? And I've been afraid to actually show that, probably for fear of rejection, right? Core wound. Mine's a line 4. That's fear of rejection. There's a part of me that knows exactly where I'm going. And when I look in that direction, there's also another voice in the back of my mind that's like, bitch, how do you know? Like, how do you know? Are you sure? Are you sure that's where you're going? Are you sure that's where you want to go? Right? Free will. You get to choose to some extent, right? That's also been part of the problem. It's like I've been at a fork in the road for a very long time and it's like I have to make a choice, but I'm sitting here like, can I not have both? Both and? Anyway. Oh, so part of me is afraid of showing this side of me because I'm like, what if people don't like you? What if they reject you? What if they think, oh, she's too chaotic for any of that, right? But that's also like if I'm only looking at one thing. In other ways, it's like brilliant. Side note, chaos. Shadow of Gene Key 3. 3.3 is my conscious Mars. So my sphere of EQ. EQ is developed from the stages. Well, second trimester, but from the ages of 7 to 15. I will come back to that periodically in the future, like not only in my stories but also in my teachings. Um, and you know what? That's probably part of what's been holding me back too. Is it's like going live like this. This is me. Like this is me, masks off, which is the whole fucking point of the revolution, right? Like, so that you can see who I am beneath the masks, beneath the public persona, beneath or behind who I appear to be. It's an illusion. It's like Wizard of Oz, right? The man behind the curtain. Psst, it's actually a woman. Plot twist, spoiler alert. That would be a fun spin off or remake. Also, fun fact, my sister got married in, I want to say 2011 or 2010. I think it was when I was a junior in college. Um, I was the maid of honor and I gave a speech, right? I have a lot of wounding around public speaking. I have a lot of wounding around writing. Again, some of the reasons why I haven't been very active with the revolution and with the glass box. Because even though I know that it's what I am meant to be doing, I'm meant to be expressing myself, a lot of wounding with that I've been working through. I may touch on that tonight, but if not, like that will for sure be like dedicated articles, books maybe, um, teachings, episode, all that jazz, right? I will be coming back to it a lot. Um, Lost my train of thought. I heard a firework. Part of me is like, Katy Perry fireworks comes to mind. I'm not singing right now. Like, with this voice, congested as all get out, like, nah. Hell no. Um, okay. Oh yeah. My sister's wedding. So I think she got married in 2010. How old is my niece? She just turned 13. 2025, so 2012. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. When my sister got married, right? Like, Emily, get out of the weeds. You know. Um, I'm not, by the way, there right now. Anyway, um, when my sister got married, I was the maid of honor and I gave a speech. And her wedding was small. I forget, I don't know how many people were there. I think it was under 100. Um, it was held in Winona, Minnesota, which is where my sister and her husband met. They met in college. It was also where I went to college. I followed in my sister's footsteps, which has been a wound throughout my life. Thank you, Jenny. I love you. Shout out to her. Side note, We Are Animals. You should read her book. Ooh, I have some copies here. I may not read it tonight. I mean, now I'm kind of on a roll, so who knows? This has also been. See, it's so funny. Like, before I hit record, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know how long I've been talking now. Like, longer than I thought, probably. Anyway, um, I might read some excerpts from her books. Ooh, call it a case study. Anyway, I gave a speech, and because it was a small wedding, it was mainly family and like close friends, right? And I remember that I was really nervous when I gave the speech. I don't really remember exactly what I said as a whole. But there was one part that I still remember. I made a reference to The Wizard of Oz. I think I opened with something about the yellow brick road. Um, and how I looked forward to being Auntie M, and that I hoped that if they had a daughter, they named her Dorothy. Because, like, how fun would that be, right? And, like, I know I weaved things in and I made it a joke and, like, all of these things, but what I remember from that is after the speeches and everything, after when we were out mingling, um, I was in a small group of people and I think my mom was there with, like, maybe my aunt and like a couple other, I don't remember who it was, but I remember my mom making a comment about how it was an interesting speech. And she might not have meant anything by it. But man, that mother wound, I know for a fact I'm not the only one with it. I've been afraid to speak and share my stories partially because of the mother wound, despite the fact that I know that I need to share my stories because of the mother wound and the sister wound, father wound, brother wound, ancestral wounding. Like, put it all into a box, make it glass, be transparent about it, right? Interesting timing there, right? Given what's going on in the collective. I don't really follow a whole lot of the news right now. Like, I keep an eye, I follow sources that I trust just to kind of stay in the know. This has actually made me feel really selfish, which I will tie back in to to the story, right? Um there are times when I feel very selfish for not paying attention as much as I could to what's happening externally. But there's something to be said about when you do the inner work, it ripples out and helps the collective. We're going to be exploring that more later. But anyway, selfishness, right? Shadow of Gene Key 27. The city is selflessness, and then the gift is altruism. I don't have that Gator gene key, but if I did, it would connect to my sphere of attraction. That's a different story. Bringing it back to the wedding speech, which apparently I need to explore more. I know that. Um, Part of me wonders if I was selfish with that speech, right? If people thought that I was being selfish for making the speech about me and how even when I was speaking to and toasting my sister's love story, I weaved myself into it with Auntie Em and Dorothy. Side note, my niece's name is not Dorothy. I'm not disappointed by that at all. She's got a beautiful name. Love her to pieces. Sorry. I shouldn't apologize for having bodily functions and coughing when I'm sick, but like habit, right? I'm a former people pleaser. A former good girl. Good girl gone bad, gone wild. Haven't ever done that. Although I was in the sauna earlier today. Part of me is like, Emily, you're sick. You shouldn't have gone to the sauna. But I wanted to, and it helped. Um, but when I was laying in there, part of me just was like, man, it would be so nice to be in the sauna, topless, tits out. Like, but you can't really do that in America. I was in Spain earlier this year in July and spent a lot of that time laying out topless by the pool. It was lovely. That's a story for another time. That'll be a series of stories. But yeah, selfishness. And that story. What I think is interesting, side note, I'm from Minnesota. Oh, yeah, sure, you betcha. Minnesota nice, right? Fireworks in the background, not guns. It's not that kind of revolution. Although, some people aren't going to like me for this. Okay. Fireworks are beautiful, but the environmental disturbance, like they are loud, they are disruptive, they freak out the animals. Like we need to start moving towards some alternatives, people. Like, come on. We have evolved. We are evolving. Let's maybe build things that work and move in harmony with nature rather than like tearing things apart or corrupting things. That's interesting. I said harmony with nature. Harmony is the city of Gene Key 50, which see things connect. My storytelling goes all over the place, but like connect the dots, right? It's a game. Um Gene Key 50, which is my sphere of attraction. 50.1 in particular. I'll speak more to that later. You can read into it beforehand if you want to. Doesn't matter. Um, but the city of Gene Key 50 is harmony. The shadow is corruption. And then the gift is equilibrium. One of the reasons why I've hesitated with a lot of things, business wise, particularly, is because I have experienced and witnessed so much corruption. Like, we all have, right? Like, we collectively are witnessing, seeing that right now, right? On like every freaking level. It's disrupting our nervous systems. That's one of the reasons why it's so important, as a side note, to be able to regulate your own nervous system, to understand your body's energy. Human design helps with that if you want to get really into things, but like you don't need to. Breath work, right? Like you don't need to do the woo woo things to get the benefits of just get me off of Emily, get off of your high horse, please. Like come down off of the stage, get off the platform, all that jazz, right? I'll touch on that later. Anyway, everything connects. Okay, 50. Where was I going with that? I don't know now. I've led myself off into the woods. Part of me is like, give me a little red hood and it's off to grandmother's house we go. Okay. See, part of me is like, this is the me that you guys need to see, but also I've been terrified of showing this. Um, this is gonna be interesting. That's where I started. Interesting. See? We go all over the place. We're weaving a web, weaving a network, tapestry. I'd say quilt, but I don't know how to quilt. That's a story for another time. What symbol am I making here? I don't know. You guys could tell me. Um, yeah, I'll come back to quilting at another time. Um, hmm, weaving. Weaving between? See, now I'm getting stuck. It's a title for something. I'm staring at a book. I'd say a little black book, but that one's actually pretty big. That's what she said. Had to do it. Um, oh God. Okay. See, part of me is like, this is what I've been terrified of going live with. Like, okay, let me paint the scene, right? I'm sitting in a corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Um, I'm on the edge. That's a fun tie-in. It's not a sales pitch, but you know, you can apply if you want to. 28 days. Um, my environment is artificial shores. I like to be on the edge. It lets me look at multiple perspectives. Bonus points. If I'm on the edge of something high up, almost like I'm on the roof, I'm a 4-6. Sixth line works in 3 stages. I'm on the roof right now. Like the first 30, however many years of my life were more experimental. I was functioning like a 3. I tie that into numerology, by the way. So 3 being very self-expressive, very creative, all the things. Did I just say that it was my expression number? I don't know if I did, but if not, now you know. If I did, 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Anyway, see, there's so many voices in my head being like, Emily, shut up. 1, people are gonna think you're crazy. Again, I've already said I'm a crazy childless cat lady, so that's fine. I troll myself more than other people troll me. Like, the whole sticks and stones thing, like, dude, come at me, bro. Anyway. There's a blue jay who made a comment to me earlier this year. I sent them a recording that I'm actually going to share on the Revolution. Probably, it'll be soon. It's like, it's next in the queue. It's just I have to finish transcribing the audio. But the blue jay told me, after listening to it, that what did he say? Maybe it doesn't want to come out yet. Come out, wherever you are. Hide and seek. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And we're back. I'm telling you, my mind. Okay, we're holding on to interesting. Emily, don't lose that train of thought. I am sure that in another lifetime, I was put into an insane asylum as a woman, right? For having a mind, for having thoughts. I actually I need to dive back into this. I did research in high school about the suffragettes. Interesting connections there. Anyway, interesting, right? Took me like, what time is it? Wow, I've been talking longer than I expected. This is one of my fears with going live, right? Once I get going, it's just like, I get going. Anyway, side note, just as a disclaimer, if you are in mentorship with me, it's a bit more refined than this, right? Like, I'm not going to send you an hour-long response unless it literally requires that, right? But yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to overwhelm you unless you ask for it. Consent, right? Very important. A lot of times when people in the Midwest say something's interesting, because remember, I'm from Minnesota, born and raised. I lived there until I turned 22, at which point I moved to Buffalo, New York for 6 months. Then I moved down to Pensacola, Florida, had a stint in Crestview, and then came to Central Florida and have been kind of like bouncing around there for a while, which is interesting because Central Florida actually is a point on my moon line with astrocartography. That tracks, right? Makes so much fucking sense. Also makes sense why Buffalo didn't last. I wasn't ready for it. Um, we'll come back to that. Anyway, interesting. A lot of times when people from the Midwest say something's interesting, it's because we're not really sure what we think about it yet. Like, we're still taking notes. We're still observing. Think of it like a case study, right? If I say something's interesting, the study is interesting. It might even be fascinating. Like if I'm really into the study, right? Like if it's fascinating, chances are it's like something's happening. There's some kind of reaction, right? Fun fact, reaction is the shadow of gene key 49. Gene key 49 is my core. So it's my core wound and my vocation. It's also my conscious moon. Look at that connection. 49 is my conscious moon. And for the past, when did I move here? For the past 10 years, I have been living on that line. Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Okay. Motherfucker. I've been here for a full cycle. Ooh. Okay, hold up. Numerologically speaking, right? It runs in a 9-year cycle. Collectively, today is the final day of a collective year 9. So I was in Central Florida at the beginning of this last collective cycle. For this last collective cycle. At the same time, I entered into my new cycle. Next year, the collective moves into a collective year 1. I move into a personal year 9. So it's like, okay, the collective is finishing one thing. So it's like I've shed one layer as well through that. And now I'm finishing up. This is going to be interesting. There's that word again. Interesting. Boy. You know those moments where it's like, it's just all the pieces are coming together. And it's beautiful. It's also like, it's a lot of things. Someone's like, say interesting, take a shot. Right? Make it a drinking game. I no longer drink, although, I mean, every now and then I'm like, man, a nice glass of wine or an espresso martini. But it could be a different kind of shot. Something found at a kava bar, perhaps. Kava lounge. Add in cats. And it's like 10/10. Would recommend. Let's see. Part of me is like, bitch, you are on a roll. Maybe you should slow down. No. I feel like there's still a little bit left to say tonight. Case studies. Okay. So I've been touching on some of the reasons why it's taken me so long to go live, right? And now we're gonna start getting into the deeper things. Okay, we should time this and see how long it takes me to like get into it. I've touched on the superficial things, right? Like I didn't have enough followers on Instagram once they changed the thing, once I was ready for it. And the account that does have enough followers, or did, I've lost some since I've been a bit more outspoken. That's totally fine. Um, it's not quite ready for that one to go live. Like, not really. Some renovations need to happen first. I talked about that. I talked about how I don't know where to start. Case in point, right? Like, I don't remember where I started this live, but here we are. We've touched on wounding, right? Like, I brought in numerology, gene keys, human design, astrocartography. I've probably touched on just astrology, but that, like, everything's woven together, right? Which is honest. Okay, that's one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to go live and like start really promoting this stuff, is because it's like it's been hard for me to explain how I work. I'm not streamlined. Case in point, this live, right? I weave together a lot of different stories, a lot of different concepts, tools, like fill in the blank, pick your blank, right? 6 letters. Okay, that one's more than 6, but that's fine. Part of me has been afraid to go live because I've been worried about whether or not I would be able to show restraint. Restraint is the gift of Gene Key 52. 52.1 is my unconscious Jupiter. It's my sphere of culture. The shadow is stress. And the city is silence. My heart's pounding right now. It's hard to breathe. 1, because I'm sick. And 2, I want to sit up straight. Maybe that'll help, right? Stop hunching, not the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm nervous. I'm anxious, right? I'm scared that because I have so many stories, because there's so much that I want to share and I have to say and like everything, right? Like sometimes when I receive an invitation, I get so excited that I just like let things spill out, right? You can hear the emotion in my voice right now, like the tears starting to well up because I'm remembering things that I still haven't released the emotion to yet. And there's a part of me that's terrified that in finally opening up my channel, I have 2, 6124, 731. There's a part of me that's so afraid that when I finally do that, when I get on a roll, when I get so tuned in to a story that I forget where I am, that I might call somebody out without meaning to, that I might name drop, right? That I might say or do the wrong thing, that I might make somebody angry, or that I might hurt somebody, right? I'm trying to control everything, but I can't. Nobody can. The only thing that you can control is how you choose to respond and move, how you choose to express yourself, perhaps. Like there's so many ways that I could go with that. And I'm trying to reel it back right now because I don't want to make this into like some kind of who knows what, right? I can't control whether or not people connect the dots. I can't. Can I show restraint in the moment to not point fingers, to not blame, to not make it about anyone else? Can I show restraint and focus instead simply on me? Which, yeah, may sound selfish. But if I focus on me, that means that I can work on me. I can fine tune myself so that my trauma does not ripple out and cause more trauma, right? I mean, that's to tie into a lot of other things. How comfortable am I with displaying my bitterness? Ooh, now that's a question. And it ties directly into that, right? Like, if I show my bitterness, which when left unexpressed, mutates into rage, as does frustration, anger, and disappointment. Huh. I'm trying to breathe. I feel very congested, like more so than at the beginning. Maybe this is my sign to Emily. Let's wrap it up, right? I think I've been talking for almost an hour. And I thought I would have nothing to say. Okay. Point being, I think I can show restraint. I mean, practicing with BDSM tends to help that. Now, before you get your panties in a twist, right? And go, oh, like, grab the pearls. Is that the saying? Hide the pearls? Grab the crosses? Who knows? Like, I'm so detached from that at this point. But like, before you go nuts, body, design, synergy, movement. They're the pillars of my business, sweetheart. Don't make it dirty. Okay? Anyway, wrap it up, right? With love. Hi. Just kidding. You know who I am. And if you don't, I'm sure that you will one day. Side note, before I do actually sign off, and what time is it? It's almost 9 o'clock. 8:53. It just turned to 8:54. Okay. 53 is my conscious sun, my life's work. 54 is my conscious earth, my evolution. Fun fact, 53 is also my conscious Chiron. 8, I am moving from a personal year 8 into a personal year 9 at the stroke of midnight tonight. I play with those numbers. I don't have 8 as a gate, but it rhymes, all that jazz. But if I did, it would connect to my 1, which is my Pluto. Both. Anyway, who is Kai? Hmm. That's a story for another time. Okay. Seriously signing off now. If you stayed, thank you. Happy New Year's Eve. I hope that is everything that you want it to be or need it to be. Whatever, fill in the blank. Obviously, this is not like the actual New Year. We could get into a whole thing with that and like astrological versus this. But either way, right? I hope that your future is hella bright. Shine bright like a diamond comes into play. Maybe like, okay, if we edit this, like have the fade out be shine bright like a diamond. That'd be cute. Well, maybe cute's not the right word. That'd be fill in the blank. With love, Kai. Okay, but seriously, have a great night. Bye.